We live in a world obsessed with surfaces. Everywhere you look, someone is selling you a formula for being liked, for standing out, for making others notice you. They tell you to buy the right clothes, say the right things, post the perfect image. But here, it's what they want. They tell you none of that lasts. The moment you step away, the moment the filters come off, people forget you. Because what they redrawn to ISN, to your mask, it's what is underneath it. There is a force that exists beneath all the noise, beneath all the performance, beneath everything we've been taught to chase. The ancient Stoics understood this force. They lived it. They wrote about it. And what they discovered wasn't some secret trick or hidden technique. It was something far more powerful, something that can be faked, bought, or imitated. It's the force of a person who has mastered themselves. Not the world around them, not other people, themselves. When you walk into a room and people feel something shift, when conversations quiet down, not because you demanded attention, but because you simply arrived, that is not luck. That is not genetics. That is the invisible weight of someone who has fought their inner battles and won. The Stoics called it virtue. Modern psychology calls it emotional regulation, resilience, self-control. But the name doesn't matter. What matters is this. The person who controls their impulses, their reactions, their chaos, that person becomes magnetic without trying. They don't need to announce their strength. Others feel it. They don't need to prove their worth. Others recognize it instinctively. This isn't about becoming cold or emotionless. It is about becoming unmovable. It is about building something inside yourself so solid that external storms can touch it. And when people encounter that kind of stability in a world drowning in distraction and desperation, they can help but gravitate toward it. So let's talk about what actually makes someone unforgettable. Not their looks, not their status, not their charm, but the quiet, unshakable force they carry within. Before we start, on a scale of 1 to 10, how disciplined would you rate yourself right now? Drop your number in the comments. Be brutally honest. 1. The beauty that comes from a disciplined soul. There is a type of beauty that goes beyond how symmetrical your face is or what your body looks like. This beauty can be bought with money, taken by force, or copied by anyone else. It's the beauty that comes from a soul that has discipline. When you enter a space with self-discipline, when you control what you say instead of letting your words control you, others pick up on it. They might not fully grasp what it is, but they definitely sense something. This isn't shallow charisma. It is controlled power, a flame that glows without making noise, an inner force that doesn't need to announce itself. Seneca put it this way: no person is more miserable than someone who never encounters hardship, because they never get the chance to test what they made of. A personality that truly attracts ISN to trying to make everyone happy. Instead, it's one that has gone through hard times and hasn't broken apart. People gravitate toward you not because you begging for their acceptance, but because you've figured out how to live without needing it. That is the real marker of a magnetic personality, staying solid when everything around you is shaking, holding on when everyone else is falling apart. Others might struggle to put it into words, but they respect it, they take notice, and they be drawn to follow it. 2. The quiet power that makes you genuinely magnetic. There is a truth we tend to miss. The people who are most attractive aren't the ones grabbing attention by being loud. They are the ones earning respect through their quietness. It has nothing to do with saying perfect things, wearing expensive clothes, or creating a polished image for others to look at. It's about having a calm internal power that doesn't feel the need to prove anything. Epictetus put it this way: show me a person who is sick but still content, facing danger but still content, dying but still content. Show me that individual and I'll show you someone who follows Stoic principles. What was his point? That the personality with the strongest pull is someone who has gained control over their inner chaos. When you can stand in life, its flames without getting burned up by them, people are naturally pulled toward you, not because you trying to get their attention, but because you demonstrate a strength they want for themselves. We living in an era where distraction gets sold as who we are. Everyone rushes to broadcast every thought, every fleeting emotion, every small win, as if staying quiet is something to fear. But people with real substance don't speak unless their words have meaning. They allow their silence to carry weight. They pick their words with care, like Marcus Aurelius, who told himself every day, "Stop wasting time debating what it means to be good. Just be good." An attractive personality is created right here, through what you do, not what you pretend to do. Think about this. Real attractiveness doesn't come from what you demand from people, but from what you refuse to give up inside yourself. Anyone can go after applause. Anyone can chase people's approval. But only a handful can stay steady when neither of those things are there. The individual who can enter a space without feeling the need to be the noisiest person there, without craving to be noticed, but instead carrying an energy of peaceful strength, that is the person who earns the deepest kind of respect. Here is the contradiction. The less you run after validation, the more people feel compelled to offer it to you. This doesn't happen because you manipulating them, but because you show them a type of freedom they secretly wish they had. Freedom from the cage of worrying about what everyone thinks. Freedom from the weight of feeling insecure. Seneca noticed this. The biggest barrier to truly living is waiting for what is next, which keeps us focused on tomorrow and wastes today. The entire future is unknown. Start living right now. People who give off an attractive energy live with this understanding. They aren't trapped by yesterday. This regrets or frozen by tomorrow. This worries. They exist in the present moment. When they talk with you, you can tell they genuinely there, not distracted by their own self-importance. And that kind of presence, real, complete presence, is hard to find in a world hooked on distraction. That scarcity is what makes it so magnetic. But let's be real about this. This type of attractiveness doesn't come easily. It's not something you reborn with automatically. It gets built in those moments when you pick control over acting on impulse, structure over giving in to everything you want, mental clarity over mental fog. Many people talk about being chosen or especially blessed, but honestly, what separates those who seem chosen did that fate pick them? It is their readiness to bear the weight that others avoid. The person who can handle pain without falling apart becomes a guiding light for those who are still lost in the darkness. Modern scientists who study human character confirm what the ancient thinkers already understood, that the ability to bounce back, stay patient, and manage harmful emotions is what makes someone deeply respected. Back in 2004, psychologists Christopher Peterson and Martin Seligman released a study called Character Strengths and Virtues, and what they discovered matched Stoic teachings. The qualities that people from all different cultures consistently admired most were bravery, fairness, self-control, and good judgment. These aren't surface-level qualities. They read patterns of the inner self. They read exactly what we develop when we choose self-discipline instead of giving in to cravings, when we pick honesty over lying, when we choose to endure instead of giving up. So what's the major indicator that you have a personality that attracts others? It is this. After people walk away from spending time with you, they don't just recall your appearance or the exact words you spoke. What sticks with them is the feeling they experience while being near you. Did they walk away feeling calmer inside? Did they feel braver than before? Did they feel more fully alive? If you can answer yes to these questions, then your presence is quietly changing the world in ways that loud, showy personalities could never achieve. 3. The self-control that sets magnetic people apart from average ones. We talk a lot about charisma, appeal, and good looks, brief flashes that grab people's attention but don't last long. But underneath all of that surface stuff, there is one thing that really determines if someone has a presence that is impossible to resist. Self-control. I am not talking about the surface level kind of self-control that involves simple routines and falls apart the second things get tough. I mean the kind that comes from deep within, built during quiet moments, made stronger through difficult times, and worn like a crown that no one else can see. Consider Marcus Aurelius, someone who led the mightiest empire the world had ever known. He had every opportunity to lose himself in excess, to get drunk on wealth, authority, and pleasure. But instead, he wrote these words to remind himself, the problem that our lives are too short, but that we throw away so much of the time we have. Why would someone with all that power need to remind himself of something like that? Because he understood that without self-discipline, the kingdom inside you crumbles well before any external kingdom does. And a broken spirit is the least attractive thing any person can carry. The kind of discipline I am describing isn't about being rigid or refusing to enjoy what life offers. It is about being in command of yourself. It means refusing to let harmful emotions run wild without any control. The Stoic thinker Seneca gave us a warning. Someone who is controlled by their desires is in worse shape than someone literally wearing chains. His words cut right to the truth. Being attractive comes from being free, and freedom comes from having control over who you are. When someone can manage their rage, their cravings, their jealousy, their overindulgence, they are actually controlled by the very things they think they enjoying. They might appear strong, but if you look into their eyes, you see weakness. They might sound sure of themselves, but their soul is shaking. And on some level, other people pick up on that. No amount of physical beauty, money, or smarts can hide the smell of a spirit that is trapped. Now picture the complete opposite. Someone who doesn't blow up when they insulted, who doesn't fall apart when things done to work out, who doesn't give in to every passing desire that comes their way. That kind of stability, that level of self-restraint, gives off a powerful energy without having to announce it. It is the kind of power Marcus Aurelius was talking about when he said, "Your power exists in your own thoughts, not in what happens around you." Understand this, and you discover real strength. This type of strength doesn't make noise, but everyone can feel it. Modern psychology backs up what the Stoics figured out long ago. Research into emotional intelligence demonstrates that people who can keep their emotions in check, who can take a breath before they react, who can fight off impulsive urges, are regularly seen as more attractive, more trustworthy, and more dependable. It is not because they putting on a show to wow others. It is because discipline shows a level of depth that most people simply don't have, and others are naturally pulled toward that, like exhausted travelers seeking shelter in the desert. Let us get down to the basics. A disciplined life attracts people because it represents escape from disorder. In a world where most folks are trapped by constant distractions, the person who stays solid becomes like a beacon of light. People sense they can find stability around you, that your steadiness shields them from life's storms. And that is what makes you impossible to forget. But self-control isn't created in comfortable situations. It doesn't grow when everything in life is going smoothly. It's born when we experience loss but don't let sorrow drown us. When we face betrayal but refuse to let bitterness eat us alive. When we feel intense desire burning inside us but don't allow it to take over completely. The Stoics viewed every challenge as a way to test how strong your spirit really is. Epictetus, who spent part of his life as a slave, said that hard times reveal what people are truly made of. And it is true. The disciplined person becomes attractive exactly because they don't crumble when everyone else would. Yet discipline doesn't make a lot of noise. It doesn't brag about itself. It doesn't hunger for praise. In reality, someone who is genuinely disciplined often doesn't stand out right away because their strength operates quietly. But as time passes, it becomes impossible to miss. People start to notice that while others are all over the place, you put together. While others are constantly anxious, you firmly planted. And that contrast is too obvious to overlook. Let me create a scene for you. Picture two different people entering a room. The first one talks fast, clearly desperate for someone to pay attention. Their hand movements are over the top. Their laughter is way too loud. The second person walks in with a calm energy, doesn't say much, and really listens. And when they finally do talk, every word is carefully chosen, exact, and filled with real thought. Which one sticks in your memory after you leave? Which one leaves a lasting mark on how you feel? It's the second person. Because they're disciplined in how they speak, how they carry themselves, and how they hold back. Sends a message of strength that runs deeper than any kind of act. 4. The strength of being calm when everything else is falling apart. There is something that unsettles people about a man or woman who stays composed while the world around them is shaking. In an age where people are hooked on noise, needing approval, and being distracted all the time, the individual who can stay still becomes like a mirror that makes others uncomfortable. They can't quite figure out why they re-drawn to you, or why being around you makes them feel restless inside. But somewhere deep down, they recognize a type of strength they don't to have themselves. The Stoics taught that real mastery isn't about controlling other people. It is about controlling yourself. Epictetus stated clearly, no person is truly free unless they are master of their own self. This mastery shows up most clearly in moments of stillness. It is about refusing to let outside circumstances control how your inner world feels. When you don't to react to being insulted, when you don't to freak out when things are uncertain, when you don't to cave under pressure, you display a level of steadiness that restless people secretly wish they had. Imagine two soldiers standing on a battlefield. One soldier fights with wild, uncontrolled movements, driven entirely by anger, throwing punches and kicks with no accuracy. The other one holds back, completely composed, with focused eyes, making sure every single action has purpose. Who really has the stronger position? It's the soldier who stays calm, because that calmness isn't about being fragile or weak. It is about having complete control. In the same way, people who keep their feet on the ground when chaos surrounds them give off a vibe of silent authority. Marcus Aurelius, the ruler who shouldered the responsibility of leading an empire, wrote these words to himself: "You have authority over your own thinking, not over what happens in the external world. Accept this reality and you'll tap into real power." His ability to remain composed wasn't rooted in weakness. It was built on discipline. He understood that any storm happening outside you is completely powerless as long as you maintain peace on the inside. And this inner peace naturally attracts others. People can feel it in your presence. They might not be able to describe it in words, but they instinctively trust it. They gravitate toward it the same way sailors move toward the beam of a lighthouse piercing through a pitch-black ocean. Contemporary research backs up this age-old wisdom. Psychological studies demonstrate that individuals who can keep their emotions under control are viewed as more dependable, more skilled, and more appealing to others. In professional settings, in romantic relationships, in leadership roles, the person who stays level-headed moves forward, not because they making the most noise, but because they stay standing when everyone around them is falling down. This type of rock-solid presence is unusual, and things that are unusual have always drawn people in. But we need to be careful not to mix up staying calm with not caring at all. The person who maintains stillness experiences feelings just as powerfully as anyone else. They simply refuse to become prisoners to those feelings. Seneca issued this caution: a person who is ruled by their emotions cannot claim to be free. Staying still means experiencing anger without striking back, experiencing fear without backing down, experiencing strong desire without letting it take you over completely. This isn't about going numb emotionally. This is about being the master of yourself. And self-mastery will always be more attractive than losing control and giving up. Think about how uncommon it is these days, in our world of quick reactions, to run into someone who doesn't to make everything bigger than it needs to be. Someone who actually stops to think before words come out of their mouth. Someone whose quiet moments say more than someone else screaming ever could. This is precisely why stillness bothers people so much. It puts a spotlight on their own inability to control themselves. It forces them to confront how much they being pushed around by their impulses while you stay completely unmoved. And that combination is both scary and impossible to look away from. Stillness, isn't about doing nothing. It is a type of active strength. It is like looking at the ocean when it appears smooth on the surface, but underneath there is depth and force that can't even be measured. When you carry this kind of stillness through your life, people pick up on that hidden depth. They realize there's something inside you that want to be easily knocked off balance. And in a world packed with people who are only surface level, that kind of depth leaves a permanent mark on their memory. The Stoics saw life itself as a combat zone for your spirit. Every harsh word directed at you, every temptation that comes your way, every stroke of bad luck serves as a test of who you are. The people who tumble into rage, jealousy, or complete hopelessness end up drowning in the confusion. But the people who keep their composure in the middle of the storm display a kind of strength that nobody can pretend to have. And when strength operates quietly, it becomes the most magnetic form of attraction possible. This means we have to actively practice being still. We have to start each day mentally prepared, not to control everything that happens in the world, but to control how we choose to respond to what happens. We need to intercept ourselves before rage explodes out of us, before fear wraps us in chains, before desire yanks us wherever it wants. Every single small moment where we practice holding back makes our stillness stronger and sharper. And as the days and months pass, this way of being becomes automatic for us. Peaceful, rock solid, impossible to disturb. When everything is said and done, good looks or natural charm or having money ISN, to what creates a personality that draws people in. It's the uncommon capacity to remain standing tall when the entire world is tilting and swaying, to show calmness when chaos is everywhere, to hold inside yourself a protected space that no storm can ever break through. This is the reason people feel magnetically pulled toward you without being able to say exactly why. They can sense your stillness radiating from you, they can sense the depth you carry, and in a world that is constantly restless and moving, they have no choice but to become captivated by the one person who refuses to be pushed around. If you made it this far, you're already different from 90% of people. Subscribe and surround yourself with others on the same path. Then comment one habit you're going to change starting today. I read every single one.